Good morning. So I'm Karen from the Balance Type, and if you've been following me, you know I talk about a little bit about physio stuff, strength training, nutrition, type 1 diabetes. Those are all my passions and afflictions. Anyway, so this morning I'm doing a bit of a shoulder workout. I hurt my back on the weekend by doing 2 heavy rack pulls. So ego superseded my knowledge anyhow, so I'm paying the consequences. So this workout is I've done it a little bit gingerly to protect my back, working a lot on stability. So this is a typical shoulder workout. And I'm not just finished my workout, but I just thought it'd be a good opportunity. I'm a little sweaty and I just did it. So share what I did. So to get prepped and the muscles, primed for this workout, I start off with going in a plank position and actually doing shoulder taps. So strong, solid plank, glutes contracted, core contracted, perfectly aligned spine, and then shoulder tapping, right? So that's working really on a lot of stability there. Everything is really engaged. Then I get into some pull apart. So pulling apart nice and wide. This is working on that posterior chain, that rear delt, getting those shoulders warmed up, because this is going to be a shoulder workout. So typically I do 2 to 3 sets of a higher rep range, 10 to 15 in that, depending on the weight that I'm using. Then for my workout, and I had to modify this a bit again because of my back. So I'm doing push-ups, and I get onto the floor and I'm doing 8 to 12 reps of those. That's pretty much what I can eke out right now. And then followed by a dumbbell row. So sort of that tripod position, keeping the arm nice and close to the body. You can change your hand position. You can do a wide row, you can do a narrow row. But again, working on that tempo. I'm using a 35 pound, that's as heavy as I have right now, without going down to my gym. And then, so that's a superset. I do those 2 push-ups and dumbbell row together. And then next I get into my lateral raises and my upright row. So the side lateral raise, very common exercise, working on that delt. And a lot of people do them with too heavy of a weight. Like, I know I used to use 20 pounds in the gym, 15, but right now I'm using 10 because my 12s are downstairs, and I just have to go a little slower, work on that form. And when you're doing a side lateral raise, you want to lead with those elbows. You want to think, okay, I'm attached here at my waist with my elbows, and I'm leading with that elbow. So you can change your lever length. If it's a little heavier, you change that lever length. But we want a long lever. And then when you get to that peak, you kind of internally rotate that shoulder. So you pour that dumbbell out. And that really focuses on that middle delt, anterior delt, to kind of give you that separated look. So you can see the difference right there. Kind of helps with that. So that's 1, 2, 3 sets of exercises there. So my side lateral raise, supersetted with my dumbbell upright row. And again, I'm just using a 20 pounder, nice and control that tempo, because usually we go a little bit heavier. Followed by, and then I'm doing shoulder presses. So my shoulder press, I'm using 20 pounds. And, right now, this is a little challenging with this back. So I will do just a standard shoulder press. I might come into an Arnold, okay, but nice and controlled. A little lighter than I would normally lose, but it's protecting my back. So I gotta kick that ego to the curb, and right now, focus on getting some quality movement and not worry so much about that weight, that progressive overload, right? So my shoulder press, and then I'm doing a front raise. So again, working on that anterior portion of the shoulder, and then I'm doing a rear delt fly. So hip hinging from the hips, and then working that rear delt. So again, try and think of leading with those elbows, and you want that right back there. So that's a simple little workout. We're at about 40 minutes. And I superset those exercises just because I'm a little tight for time today. But other than that, that's just a everyday good shoulder workout. So I hope that's helped a little bit, and have an awesome day.